Hello everyone, I am Dr. Priyanka Madia. In today's session, I am considering a topic which has special significance and reference. But before starting the discussion, I want to begin with a shloka. This shloka has immense value as it is recited by a number of people around the world and is mesmerizing. It goes like this. Mangal bhavana amangal hari द्रवहु सुदशरथ अजर बिहारी राम सिया राम जय जय राम 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 सिया राम जय जय राम. Now, with this shloka, Mangal Bhavan Amangal Hari, Dravahu Sudashrath Ajira Bihari. What I want to convey with this? With this shloka, I want to say that जो मंगल को करने वाले और अमंगल को दूर करने वाले हैं वो दशरथ नंदन दशरथ पुत्र श्री राम है. वो हम पर अपनी अपार कृपा करें. With the pious environment created by enchanting the shloka, I want to talk today about the life lessons from the Ramayana for different fraternities like practitioners, for managers and for students. When we talk about the Ramayana, we talk about an epic that defines the code of conduct and ideal modes of relationships. It is still vibrant in the manner that the kids are taught about this epic so that they become aware about the ethical codes of conduct and codes of conduct that existed long back. Now, what is the purpose? The purpose is to make them learn about good value system and to ensure that they inherit good value and good lessons in their life. Not only the kids, but this epic has immense impact on the lives of young generations, managers, practitioners. Why? So that they become a better version of themselves. Thus, it goes without saying that Ramayana is one of the India's and world's most discussed epic and is not only confined to a tale of good triumphing over evil. Rather, it offers timeless life lessons and provides moral guidance and spiritual insights that have remained relevant even in today's world. Moving with this, I want to go ahead and I want to say that Ramayana is an epic of profound cultural and moral significance. Here is an exploration of key lessons imparted by Ramayana, which are supported by relatable case studies for students and other sections of the society. The first lesson that Ramayana imparts is strong commitment towards the words. In this regard, I want to remind you of one of the shlokas. I hope you might have heard it. It goes like this. रघुकुल रीत सदा चली आई प्राण जाए पर वचन न जाई राम सिया राम जय जय राम राम. आप भी बोल सकते हो राम सिया राम जय जय राम. Now what this shloka? रघुकुल रीत सदा चली आई प्राण जाए पर वचन न जाए. इसका भावार्थ है, it has a special meaning and which says that रघुकुल परंपरा में हमेशा वचनों को प्राणों से ज़्यादा महत्व दिया गया है. With this, I want to say that the Ramayana is one of the greatest epics and is well known for its strong commitment of Lord Rama towards the words. This was first quoted by King Dashratha when his wife Kekai reminded him of the promise that he once made to Kekai. The background story was that when Kekai came to know that the son Rama's coronation as king was going to happen, she was unhappy. Though I know that, I want to say that though it was on the instigation of Manthara, who was Dasi of Rani Kekai. But still, what happened as a result? As a result, she wanted her son Bharat to be the king and not Lord Ram. Then she reminded her husband, King Dashratha, about two boons which he had promised earlier to her. The first one being the coronation of Bharat, and the second one being the exile for son Ram. Before giving the boon, King Dashrath consoled Kekai and told her that he would never forget his word. He was of opinion that in Raghukul, the words are given more importance, they are given more value than the life. When Ram came to know about two boons that were promised by his father, first one being the coronation of Bharat and the second one being the exile for 14 years, then Lord Rama quoted this again and said, Pitaji, Raghukul Reet Sada Chali Aayi, Pran Jai Par Vachan Na Jai. Thus, this definitely fulfills the booms, and I will definitely fulfill the booms and the promises that were made by you, and I will definitely move for exile right now. This exhibits Lord Rama's unconditional commitment to his words. Now, you all must be thinking that how am I going to connect Raghukul with the students? In this context, I remember one of the cases of my student Akash, whose father remained committed towards his words. Therefore, I want to explain this with the help of a case study of Mr. Ramlal, who was a middle-aged factory worker. He had good value system and was respected for adoring traditional Indian values. His son Akash, a 17-year-old boy, he was a high school student. They shared a strong bond of love and affinity towards each other. One day, Akash approached his father with a small request. He informed his father that he wanted to participate in a school competition where he was required to pay rupees 900. Despite the challenges, Mr. Ramlal, who had a strong commitment for his words, he assured his son that I will pay the amount within the stipulated time. He smiled and quoted his son that Raghukul Reet Sada Chali Aayi, Pran Jaye Par Vachan Na Jaye. Akash also smiled and felt assured. He always believed in his father and had unconditional commitment towards his words. He began preparing wholeheartedly for the competition. Unfortunately, a few days later, Mr. Ramlal received an unexpected medical bill for his mother, who required immediate attention. This additional financial burden made it nearly impossible to spare rupees 900 for the competition. He was only a factory worker, no, he had limited funds. Akash, noticing his father's distress, suggested withdrawing from the competition, but Mr. Ramlal, true to his principles, stood firm. He said, Akash, I'm giving you my word, I will pay you the amount in the stipulated time period. And I will definitely honor my promise. Mr. Ramlal, in order to fulfill his promise, worked hard for extra hours to save the requisite amount. Finally, he was able to save the promised amount just a day before the deadline. Akash participated in the competition and secured the third position. But what mattered was the lesson he learned from his father. He felt happy and started strongly believing in the words of his father, which he used to do earlier also, but now he respected more. He understood the importance of the words. He understood the importance of honoring one's words, no matter difficulties and any difficulty which you face. So, hence, Mr. Ramlal's actions left everlasting impact on Akash's character. The second lesson which we learn is the power of coordination and cooperation. In Ramayana, we found a classic example of coordination and cooperation, leading to miracles. Here I want to say that the coordination and cooperation of Lord Hanuman, Sugriv, Nal, Neel and the other members of Vanar Sena, it has many implications. First, the Vanar Sena was so powerful that they were able to build a Ram Setu. Second, when the monkeys made an army and joined hands together, this clearly exemplifies the strength of unity. This makes it clear that the coordination, cooperation, these strong words I'm talking about, one, coordination, next, cooperation and the collective efforts can do wonders. Third, their teamwork was so powerful that they could rescue Mata Sita. This clearly exhibits that the great challenges can be overcome when we work together. Now I want to discuss this with the help of a case study of 4 students. These were Sohan, Mohan, Tohan and Rohan. They were assigned a group assignment by the subject faculty. They were supposed to work together, but they started working in isolation. They were not feeling a sense of cooperation. They were of the view that if they will coordinate with each other, the other student may get good marks. So, they were working hard individually. What happened on the final day of presentation? On the final day of presentation, because of the poor coordination and improper sequencing of each student, the repetition of topics and its content, it resulted in a chaotic situation. As a result, the marks of these 4 students were adversely affected as there was a negative marking on account of poor coordination and cooperation among the students. Now, moving on with this, the next life lesson is respect for relationships. In Ramayana, it has been asserted that there is a strong importance of familial and social bonds. From Lord Rama's respect for his parents to Mata Sita's commitment for Lord Rama and brother Lakshman's devotion to his father, it highlights the strength that is derived from respecting relationships. Here I want to emphasize the importance of respecting relationships like Guru and Shishya bond. Number 1. Second, respecting peers. Third, respecting colleagues, friends, your classmates. And from this also I want to consider a case study. This case study considers Rahul, who was one of my students, but he was somehow misbehaving with his own classmates. Rahul was a student of BBA. This is just a coincidence, nothing else. But because this is authentic case, I'm quoting. So I am telling you that he was from BBA first year. In the school, he was admired due to his intelligence, but gradually he became proud. And why? Because of his academic excellence. In college, he interrupted others during the group activities, and he was disrespectful, and he used to undermine his classmates' efforts. His behavior had resulted in strained relationships and attracted complaints from the classmates. Teachers have tried to counsel him, but he did not follow the instructions of the teachers. One of the teachers identified that the causes of misbehavior were attributed to strong desire for being noticed in the social settings. Unfortunately, His behavioral transitions were not only confined to the students, later on they were also generalized to the faculties. This was bad because some work could have been done on him, but somehow there was a failure as far as he was concerned. Later on, these reflections were also affecting his academia in an adverse manner. Now I want to link this case to the Ramayana, which provides profound lessons about relationships. I want to mention here the reference of Lankesh, Ravana, who was disrespectful for others in some cases in Ramayana. This is evident from his actions like abducting Mata Sita, misbehaving with Veer Hanuman, which led to his downfall. Similarly, Rahul's disrespectful behavior disrupts harmony and isolates him from the entire classmates like Ravana. Thus, as an academician, I want to emphasize that Rahul must realize that bad behavior is not acceptable. He must be humble, he must be polite, and he must recognize that his behavior has impact on others. In addition, he should work to build the trust of others. In this case, we can learn from Lakshman also, who, despite provocations, always respected and had strong loyalty for his brother, Lord Rama. There is a lesson for Rahul that he must value relationships as Lakshman did. Thus, he can regain respect and win confidence of his peers and those associated with him once he does it. The story of the Ramayana teaches that the respect for relationship is the foundation of harmony and success. If Rahul learns to value and respects his classmates, then he can transform his behavior and build lasting friendships, just as the characters in the Ramayana can overcome challenges through mutual respect and understanding. The fourth lesson that Ramayana imparts is the exhibition of consequences of greed and arrogance. Ravana had immense knowledge and power. He and his empire fell due to his arrogance and wrong notions. His story serves as a cautionary tale about how greed and ego can lead to one's downfall. Thus, we can learn a lot from the lessons imparted by wrongful notions and deeds of Ravana in Ramayana. The 10-headed Ravana is a significant figure in Hindu mythology. He symbolizes immense power and complexity as well as knowledge. He had extraordinary strength and power. Unfortunately, his strength made him arrogant. This I want to link with the case of Rohan. He was a student and was arrogant with his classmates. He always thought that he should be affluent as his classmates and friends are. He always adopted for shortcuts in working. Thus, he got engaged in money lending business, wherein he started giving funds in lakhs to others and earned interest over it. His greed for money was so enhanced that he developed aversion from hard work. He never discussed his successes and failures with his parents. And as a result, there was one time when he invested his money in some venture wherein he faced massive financial loss. This resulted in depression and dissonance. In this case, there is a lesson for him that the greed and arrogance never pays. The arrogance of Ravana, that he was Lankesh and so powerful, this ended up in the devastation of his huge empire. Now, the next life lesson is we should believe in our dharma. This symbolizes us of the time when Lord Rama chose exile over the comforts of being the prince of Ayodhya, Nagri. Honoring his father's words, he went for exile for not for 1 year, 2 years, it was for 14 years. This clearly exhibits that he valued duty over personal comfort. Now the case study. This I want to explain with the help of a case study, and I want to mention here that I had a student named Priyansh. He was a student. I remember the time when he accompanied his father at the time of admissions, and he wanted to ensure that he gets admission in a particular course. I could see him tense for ensuring admission. Finally, he got admission in the course which he was actually seeking for. He studied for first month, but in the second month onwards, he started imitating his friends who used to bunk classes. His absenteeism increased and he started getting less marks. This was noticed and was informed by class coordinator that his behavior is changing. He was called and the discussions were made regarding his transitions in the behavior. He was counseled also. He was counseled that he should not, deviate from his path and should believe in his dharma. And his dharma at that time was to study and secure good marks. He was also reminded of all the hassles that he faced in order to get admission in that particular course. He finally understood the fact that when his parents were working hard, they were performing their dharma in order to make him educated, in order to secure good marks, in order to progress, in order to get a good placement. The next life lesson is the importance of forgiveness. Ramayana teaches the lesson of forgiveness also. Despite of the fact that Kekai, who was the reason of Lord Rama's exile for 14 years, on account of whom he had to spend 14 years in the forest, he still respected her as his mother. This encourages us to let go the grudges and consider forgiveness as a remedy to ensure peace. Similarly, we may encounter the conflicting situations as students, with the classmates, with anyone, but we should not be adamant and we should not keep our egos with us. Rather, we should consider forgiveness as a virtue. Why? Just to ensure the mental peace. The next life lesson in this series is staying calm in adversity. If we remember Ramayana, there were instances where the situations were not in favor of Lord Rama. These situations included 14 years exile, abduction of Mata Sita by Ravana, and then fight with the Ravana. However, despite of that, Lord Rama remained calm and composed. Lord Rama's calm and composed behavior clearly exhibits that even in case of extreme adversity, we should always remain calm, composed, and we should not become restless. Thus, through Lord Ram, the Ramayana inspires us to remain patient during the challenging times. Now, I am coming to the next life lesson, and that is respecting the dignity of others. Lord Rama's behavior towards his parents is his father king Dashratha, towards mother Kaushalya, Kekai, Sumitra was respectful. His attitude towards younger brother Lakshman, Bharat, Shatrughan was also amicable. He also respected the dignity of women as he respected his wife Mata Sita. His behavior towards his team comprising Veer Hanuman, Sugriv, Nal, Neel and other members of Vanar Sena was also commendable. Now, moving ahead. Apart from these lessons, I want to emphasize that good company and surroundings, they are also must. This is the next life lesson which I am talking about. I want to say that the good company defines the kind of person you are. It goes without saying that good company creates good impact and bad company creates bad impact. The Ramayana emphasizes the need to keep a good company. It also opened that a negative person can brainwash all the goods inside you. Why am I saying this? I have a reason behind it, because it was because of this that, it was because of this, the Dasi Manthara, she poisoned the mind of Kekai, and she was able to overpower Kekai's thoughts and diluted them with the negative feed. As a result, Kekai asked for Lord Rama's 14 years exile from King Dashratha. The next life lesson, the 10th life lesson which I am going to talk about, is the treating everyone equally. Lord Rama treated everyone equally. He did not discriminate anyone on the basis of status, gender, age or caste. It is for this reason he was respected a lot and earned love and respect. He was the same person for everyone, whether they were younger, older, poor, wealthy. This is evident from the consumption of already tasted berry fruits. आपको याद होगा वो झूठे बेर. I'm talking about the already tested berry fruits which were offered by Shabri, who was Seth's daughter. He ate all the already tasted berry fruits which were offered by Shabri with love and affection and without hesitation. This gives us a profound life lesson that we should always treat everyone with equality. And we should not discriminate on the basis of status, gender, age and caste. At its core, the Ramayana is a celebration of righteous prevailing over immorality. It reminds us that no matter how long it takes, truth and virtue will ultimately win. The 11th life lesson which I am going to talk about is the dominance of ethics over knowledge. The basic teaching of Ramayana is of no matter how powerful evil is, it will always be defeated by the good. A person should always be a noble heart and should have good values. That is how Lord Rama defeated the most knowledgeable person in history, and that was Ravana. Now I am considering a related case on this topic which reflects the dominance of ethics of Lord Rama over misdirected knowledge of Ravana. This case study explores the concept of ethical conduct versus intellectual capabilities. And in this case, I am considering the lens of two mythological figures. On one side, we have Lord Rama. On the other side, we have Lankesh Ravana. And I am going to apply this with the students in contemporary educational setting. On one side, I have a student A who was ethical, principled, empathetic to others. His focus was on moral integrity and values. He valued fairness, humility and selflessness. He was highly respected by the peers and teachers for his good behavior. However, there was another student who was student B, and he was highly knowledgeable and was intellectually brilliant. He had a good knowledge base and was skillful and competent. He was ambitious, confident and often prideful. He was respected for academic achievements but feared for arrogance. Both the students applied for being the class representatives of the class. The following behaviors were exhibited by both of them. The class coordinator, she noticed certain points which I am going to discuss with you. Talking about student A, she noticed that he chooses to help the classmates, helps them with the difficult concepts, helps in the collaborative, goes with the collaborative learning. Whereas student B, she noticed that he excels individually and often outshines peers, but rarely shares his knowledge with others. So, student A was offered help by one of the students in the examination. I am just considering a case here. When invigilator was on way, so he initially thought of cheating. Student A I'm talking about, but chooses to be honest later on, and even at the risk of the lower grade. On the other side, student B uses unfair means in such a way that he is not noticed by the invigilator, and he was able to obtain good marks. After analyzing their behavior for a month, the class coordinator found that student A is able to create a positive environment wherein trust is there. And the student always helps in ensuring a positive environment for the peers also, and thus she thinks that thus the class coordinator asserted that despite the academic excellence, student B commands authority over the knowledge. It's true that he commands authority over the knowledge, but he is isolated, and he does not gel up with his friends, and he does not behave with them in the congenial manner. Thus, the case demonstrated where intellectual capabilities were there, but they were leading to short-term successes also, but still the class coordinator, she chose student A above student B because of his good behavior. The epic's emphasis on, on various aspects like the triumph of good over evil gives us timeless lessons for people at large. I'm not only saying this, I am a strong believer of the ideologies of Ramayana. Why am I saying this? I am saying this because I have fulfilled one of my promises to my MBA students who wanted me to record life lessons on the Ramayana. This happened when they saw earlier recording of life lessons from Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Thus, today I have kept my promise because Raghukul Reet Sada Chale Aayi, Pran Jai Par Vachan न जाए. So, with this, I want to thank you so much for your kind cooperation. I hope you might have learned valuable life lessons from the Ramayana for your future references also, for your future endeavors also, as I strongly believe that the listeners will be learning something from this session. Thank you so much for your patient listening.